So guys, welcome to another session on Ninja Hack. So today we'll be starting off a new series on Let's Defend platform. So it's a simulated environment for blue teamers, security analysts, to carry out log analysis, incident handling, and also malware analysis. So it has several labs in it, to simulate real life events, real life scenarios, for security analysts. So we'll be starting off with our first project on Let's Defend platform. Okay, so you go on to Google to click on to search on letsdefend.io, then you click on start investigation. So once you do this, guys, it's going to pop up, and if you are not signed in, you're going to sign in, you create an account. It's free. Create an account on Let's Defend platform. Then once you do that, you just click on start investigating. So ideally, you have like about 5 cases that you can practice on per month. So I'm just going to start with mine. So once I click on start, to bring me up guys to this page. So you can see it's ideally kind of give us an overview, a real life scenario of how you're going to be getting alerts on the dashboard. So you can see we have the monitoring tab, we have the log management, case management, endpoint security. So on the monitoring dashboard, this is where alerts are generated. Alerts can either be into low, medium, and high. So as security analysts, we have to prioritize the high alerts first. So that means we are going to be focusing on the high alerts, right? And investigate further. So the log management contains the logs that have been captured from endpoints, and the endpoints are managed on the endpoint security, right? Then once we take ownership of a case, it's being managed on the case management, right? So we are just going on to look at the first alerts. You can see we have 3 high alerts over here. We have ransomware detected. We have the next is new scheduled tasks created, and the last is possible ransomware activity. So looking at these, the most critical one is ransomware detected, because this is actually, ransomware is actually detected, so we need to go on to investigate and see what was the activity that has occurred on that machine or on that endpoint. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a look at some of the brief info that we have here. You can see that it's an event. The event ID is being recorded, the event timestamp. You can see the event timestamp showing that is May 23, 2021. We can see the rule for this event. You can see ransomware detected. You can see the source IP. So I think at this point it's critical for us to take note of the source IP address. So this is the endpoint IP address where the event is being generated on. So we can also see the file name. That's ab.exe. This is the file, the malicious file, assumed malicious file, until we have proven otherwise. So let's go on. We can see the hash file is also captured here, the size of the file, and also an important thing for us to note is that this particular event was allowed on this device. It was allowed on the device. So it was not blocked, and it was not quarantined. It was allowed. So first of all, these are some of the information that was gathered. Also, if we have a sandbox environment, guys, least I forget, this platform majorly they make use of real life sample files, guys. They make use of real life sample files. So it's more, I don't know how to describe it further, but this is one of the best platforms. If you're a defender, a security analyst, you got to jump on this. So you can download the sample file on your sandbox environment or your VM. Make sure you don't download it and open this file on your system, because these are legitimate malicious files, right? So I'm just going to take ownership of this event. I'm going to do this, and you can see I want to take ownership of this event. Yeah, and I'll click continue. You can see it has moved the alert has moved to investigation channel from the main channel. So we are under the investigation channel after taking alert. We still have the same information here. So like I said, I'm going to just take note of the IP address, which is 17, ends with 17.88. Just going to copy that out. So let's go on. You can see we have create case and we have close case. So the first thing we need to do is to create a case. Then we click on continue. All right, guys. So you can see start playbooks. Playbook contains a series of activities for us to, engage with, series of questions that we are expected to answer. If we answer correctly, we are given some points. If we answer wrongly, that means we lose some points, guys. So this is just how the platform works. So I'm just going to start a playbook. Yeah, guys. So the first question we are asked here is that define threat indicator, select threat indicator. So let's take a look at the various options that we have here. You can see unknown or unexpected outgoing internet traffic. That does not depict what we are trying to investigate. We have antivirus programs malfunctioning or becoming disabled for unknown reason. Nothing like antivirus was mentioned to us. Thirdly, we have unknown or unexpected services, right? And applications configured to launch automatically on system reboot. This does not also seem to be like what we are trying to work on. So we're just going with the fourth option, guys. We're just going with order. Like, click on next. All right, guys. Now check if the malware is quarantined or clean. So this is the first question we are asked: is this malware quarantined or clean? Don't forget, I would want to open some of this tab on some of these features on different tabs. So I'm just going to click on this to open on a new tab, open the case management on a new tab, endpoint security. So, we just have it on a single page here. So I'm just going to do this also monitoring on a new tab, guys. So if we go back to the monitoring page that we have, guys, you can see that on the investigation channel, you can take a look at the critical information that was sent, that was captured. You can see that the event was allowed on the device. So it was not quarantined, it was not clean. So this is one way to check, right? Because it was allowed, and because it was allowed, you can see that the name of the rule was showing that ransomware detected. So guys, at this point, I'm just going to go on with the options showing that is malware quarantined or clean. And also we can go on to investigate further. See, we are provided with log management and the endpoint security. Endpoint security to investigate, to also bring out facts if this malware is quarantined or clean. Let's go on to the what's it called, the log management. So I'm just going to click on the log management. Don't forget to have captured our IP address. So I'm just going to search out for .17.88, which is the infected IP address, right? So so far what we have here is that we have two events that was captured, right? Look at the timestamp, August 29, 2020. Then we have April 4, 2021, guys. Let's take a look at some of the events that was captured. You can see the process. Let's go back. I'm just going to close on this. You can see the source IP address, .17.88. You can also see the destination IP address, which is an external IP address, right? We also have access connectivity was also made to another IP address .190. So let's take a look at some of the information to know the processes that are involved in that communication. So we can see that the requested URL, the GET request was sent trying to access this URL, right? device action, it was permitted. Yep. So we also see that the process involved is partial, right? The parent process seems to be like a .doc. So that's put up the partial.esc, not to request, send a GET request to this URL. So the question is this a malicious event? We can try and check that out. Not sure, we can copy that information. Then like I said, there are different open source platform, guys, that we can go on to check on, confirm, the reputation of an hash value. One of them is virus tutor. So I'm just gonna go on virus tutor to check the reputation of that hash value. So I'm gonna click on this. So we can drop our, our hash. And I'm going to try and take a look at what we have on the hash. You guys can see my screen. Wow, guys, you can see that particular hash is also malicious. It's malicious. You can see it's a malicious file. It's a malicious file that we have in here. All right, so so that shows that events was, you can see that request was done, and this is the hash value of that file, but it's from partial.esc. Unlike what we have on our monitoring page, you can see that this is the file name ab.esc, so which is different from what we have here, which is partial.esc. Okay, let's go on to make some other investigation. Let's see to see. Okay, so taking a look at the second event that was captured, we can see that another GET request was made, from the chrome.esc process. Let's take a look at what we have, if this is also malicious. Okay, it's not a malicious event, guys. It's from a legitimate Chrome event, Chrome process, chrome.esc process. So this is not malicious, but this first seems to be malicious, right? So let's take a look at the IP address. Do we have any reputation for this IP address on virus tutor? Yes, guys, we have. You can see that we have a record, just about 2 records showing that it is being flagged, so it is a malicious IP address. But this just seems to be a different, what's it called? It contains a different process, partial.esc. Don't forget, let's just take a note of that. So we've been able to establish that a malicious event tries to connect to a CNC server using process partial.esc. But is that what the question is actually asking us? So the question that was asked us is if the event that we have in here is for ransomware, right? So it's for ransomware, and the finding is ab.esc. So let's go on to check on the endpoint security. We'll take a look at the log management. Let's take a look at the endpoint security. What do we have over here? Let's take a search on the IP address. Okay, wow, it's not the IP address. Okay, yeah, so we have 17.88. That's the IP address of the endpoint. So let's take a look at what do we have here, guys. So what can we do on this part? Should we be able to view? Yeah. Is there any information that is provided? Okay. Also, we have some information down there. All right. Let's take a look at, do we have anything on the browser history? No. Okay. What about the command history? There's no information over here, guys. What else do we have? Do we have anything on the network connection? Okay, no agent is installed. Wow, so this a little bit strange. Let's take a look at the process list. All right, guys, you can see we have a lot of information on the process list. All right, so you can see, let's take a look at, don't forget, from our monitoring page, we're able to establish that the name of the file is ab.esc. Let's go to check that particular what's it called? That's on the endpoint. Um, Here we can find ab.esc. Let's take a look at this process. We are only giving a hash value. Let's go on to see the repetition of this hash. If this hash is captured, out there in the wild, because this seems to be, we can see several legitimate window process like WMIC, a subset of PowerShell, that can be used by admin to carry out some powerful um, um, command execution on the operating system. We can also see VSS admin is also a file that can be used to modify the shadow copy. So we are seeing some things here, guys. These are legitimate window processes. You can see SVC host, you can see we log on, managing the login process, process on a window machine. You can see explorer.exe, chrome.exe. These are legitimate window processes that are being captured here. So let's take a look at some of the abnormal ones that we have. So the first one is the ab.exe, the one that so let's take a look at the repetition of the hash file. So I'm just going to take a look at the repetition. Do we have anything out there? Oh, guys, we have about 59 security vendor flagging this, and 3 sandbox environments flagging this hash file. This is very critical, guys. You can see you're seeing ransom. This is really associated to ransomware. You can see clamp AV is giving us as indicating that this is a ransomware. We also have can see just several endpoint security solution, flagging this as a ransomware. Ransom Microsoft is also giving us that this is a ransomware, guys. Okay, good. Let's take a look at some of the information, the detailed information about this malicious file. Okay, you can see the SHA-1, SHA-256, guys. Take a look at, you can see the when it was first created, when it was submitted, right? Okay, so we can scroll down associated names to this particular hash file that we're looking at. Okay, signature verification file is not signed, of course, because it's not a legitimate file. You can take a look at okay, guys, is there any other useful information so far? Okay. Okay. There's no information around these external IP addresses. It's not captured. DNS is not captured. This seems to be a little bit strange. Let's take a look at some other information that we might have. Okay. So guys, you can see this seems to be like so I'm just going to go back. Okay, go back to the relation. You can see dropped file. See, a parent process dropped about more than 10 dropped file, and via the dropped file, you can see the dropped file. So when it executes, these are several other files that is dropped, to carry out some other malicious activities, guys. So the parent executes parent process. So this could be from either a malicious email that was sent, attachment, that spawn up all these other files and drop them on the endpoint device. Okay, so do we have any other information? All right, let's take a look at the behavior. We can see that seems to be like there are different updates, modification that was done on the registry key. majorly to establish persistency and also maybe to delete the shadow copy file to ensure you can see, like I was saying, WMIC, a subset of PowerShell, is a very useful and powerful command, that was used to delete the shadow copy file in a non-interactive mode. This means that it's going to this operation is going to be done in a stealthy mode. you know this is to ensure that it's avoid any form of detection. You can also see process that were terminated, so you can see that. So this is also a usual character behavior, for ransomware. They try to delete shadow copy file. So the question is, what is a shadow copy file? It's basically a legitimate window file or process that is used to take a snapshot and backup of your instance, your events, the files, processes running on your system, so that at any point in time you can do like a restore. You can restore to a previous instance, so more like a backup, for the events that are happening on your system. So what the shadow copy, what the ransomware tries to do is to delete the shadow copy file. You can see the processes that was spun up from each point to deleting the shadow copy file. Wow, you can see from spooling up SVC host, to opening up WMI .exe. Can see VSS was also used to delete, the shadow copy file in a non-interactive mode. Right. So this is a very common behavior for ransomware, to ensure that users don't restore or restore to a previous instance, guys. So we are beginning to see some behavior here, but we are not seeing any connection to a CNC server. We're not seeing any connection to a CNC server. So let's go back to our question, guys. Let's go back to our question. What do we have in here, guys? Is the malware quarantined or claimed? So like I said, it is not quarantined because it was allowed. Yeah, it was allowed. If you take a look at it, it was allowed on the device. You can see, guys, it was actually allowed on the device. So I'm just going to let's see. I think I clicked the wrong. Okay, I'm just going to go back. Order next. Not quarantined. Yeah, not quarantined. Okay, since it's not quarantined, the next question is that analyze malware. So we are told here to analyze the malware in a third-party tool and find the CNC server. So far on VirusTotal, we've not been able to see any CNC IP address. So let's take a look at order. Any.run is also a good platform. Let's see URL calls. We also have URL scan and hybrid analysis. So these are some of the useful open source sandboxing environments that we have. So I'm just going to, what's it called? Yeah, this is any.run. So I'm just going to click on public tags, right? Because I'm not trying to submit a new tag, so I'm not going to create a file, a new tags. So I'm just going to drop, I think, let's go back to copy out the MD5 hash. So I'm just going on, hope you guys can see my screen. All right, guys. So I'm just going to search for that particular MD5 hash. Okay, guys, we have some record on any.run. And don't forget the name is ab.exe. So I'm just going to open up ab.exe that we have over here. Right. Okay. Let's take a look at and analyze what we have from here. So what about on other platforms, URL hosts? Do we have anything that we could serve? Let's submit over here. No, guys, we don't have any record from URL house. Then let's take a look at what we have on very high O. I'm just going let's take a look at if we have any other record. We don't have anything here. What about the last one, hybrid analysis? All right, guys, let's take search for let's search for the hash. Okay, guys, you can see my screen. Let's go back. Okay, I think we can take a search from here. Let's see. Okay. All right, guys, you have a record. So I'm just going to close in these guys, this other platform here we don't have record on. So on any.tron, guys, we can see that we have a record on ab.esc. So the question, do we have any access? You can see that we don't have any connection. No data was recorded to a URL or a canonical name. No access was made to a CNC server. You can just see several processes that was spun up, right? You can see VSS admin.exe that was called up to delete the shadow copy, in a non-interactive mode. Is there any other information that was gathered here? Okay, so let's see what else do we have. Is there any IOCs? Okay, so what about yeah, okay, so this just shows the process tree. For this event, it just shows the process tree. You can see, guys, you can see the various processes that was spun up, legitimate processes, to from parents to child processes, okay, so I'm just gonna so this just shows us the attack matrix, So going back to our question, so far we've not been able to see any CNC. What about on hybrid analysis? I think we also have ab.esc over here. So I'm just going to, let's take a look if we have any DNS record. Yeah. Okay. You can see a brief summary showing that shadow files was deleted, found drop file. It also drops several drop file, more than 10 drop file. You can see, do we have any other thing here, guys? Okay, these are the behaviors, processes involved. Okay, you can see, guys, there was no record, no network, and this was what I was looking for, no HTTP traffic. So from what we have so far, we can simply see that after analyzing this malware, there was no access. So so the question is, analyze malware in a third-party tool and find the C2 address. Okay, you can use any of these free. So is it malicious or not? So it's, of course, it's malicious based on our analysis. Also, check if someone requested the C2 server. So far, we've checked the log management. So let's take a look at it again once more. So far, the two events we saw was that the first one was from a PowerShell process. It was not from ab.esc. So the first one was a legitimate process from Chrome, sending a GET request, right? So has nothing to do with the ab.esc. So at this point, I'm just going to go on with say, please click yes if someone has set a malicious address. So because there was no malicious address, right? There was no malicious address, so not access. That's what I'm going to click. So guys, what do we have? What we have is we have a hash file. So I'm just going to look at the question is to add artifact. So let's take a look at the various options. So we have MD5. So I'm just going to add the MD5, then just going to put as the MD5 hash value for the malicious ap.exe file, right? And okay, so we can go on to next question, analysis note. So we discovered that ransomware was detected, right? Ransomware was detected via if create a source file, okay, via a file name ab.exe, and there was no access, okay, let's say okay, there was access to the device, right? Yeah, to the device, and but no access to a C2 server, right? Yeah, yeah, was detected. Yeah, so I'm just going to. All right, guys. So we are done with the playbook. So let's go on. So guys, you completed the playbook. Now close. Let's go on to close the case. The alert on the monitoring page. Okay, so let's continue. All right, so we are on the monitoring page. So we're gonna click the close alert. So we are still asked, so is it a true positive or a false positive? Of course, it's a true positive because we have several evidence showing that it's a malicious file, and we've seen from various open source unboxing. So I'm just going to drop a note also here saying that it's ransomware was detected on the endpoint. Files were encrypted, right? But there was no access to a C2 server, right? So at this point, I'm just going to close the case. All right, guys, we can continue. So guys, we've been able to close the case. Let's take a look at if we meet. All right, guys, you can see my screen. We met, let's take a look at some of the feedback we have. You can see we're able to answer. We had some points. It was a true positive. We had some points. We're able to correctly answer that. Check if someone requested a C2. Of course, nobody requested. Analyze the malware we did. Check if the malware was quarantined or clean. At the point, it wasn't. Right. So this is a very good platform, guys. I'd appreciate you guys join me on my subsequent session so that we could go on to analyze different issues. So for this time, thank you for tuning in with us. Watch out for the next session. Bye, guys.